Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about human resource consulting, which is a more specified branch of the management consulting that is very prominent on Vanderbilt's campus. So I think human resource consulting is very interesting because it's looking at a lot of, what happens after a merger and acquisition in terms of employee satisfaction, retirement benefits, just kind of everything on the back end of a company. But, it's very interesting because you're solving problems and kind of getting to work with more than one firm at a time rather than just, a standard HR analyst who's going to be very comfortable in this one company or area. HR consultants have to be comfortable in a wide array of firms and with a lot of different tasks across a lot of different sectors. So, work in this industry in the future is very exciting because it's a very upward trending industry. So, currently there's over 59,000 enterprises, but it's still currently mainly focused in the United States. So, I think it'll be interesting to see how the industry evolves and continues to expand once, it enters markets in Asia and Europe where there's a lot of expanding growth happening. The revenue has been increasing in this industry. It was up nearly 3% in 2018, which I think means that a lot of firms are really realizing how important it is to invest in their people, which is something that, we as HOD students are very familiar with, that the more you invest in your employees and the happier they are, the better their output would be, and then, the more revenue you're going to generate as a company. But that's not something that's familiar to a lot of other people, who don't go through the HOD curriculum and who might be used to a certain way of things. In the future, there's going to be a lot more industry consolidation. So currently, there are kind of, a few major players in the industry, but not so many of the name brand industries you think of when you think of consulting. In the future, I think there's going to be the McKinseys and Bains of the world are probably going to acquire some more HR focused consultants, and also there's going to be, acquisitions of smaller firms. So we're going to see, kind of a growth in the prevalence of these areas as HR consultants kind of develop their own big four. And also something that I'll touch on more later in the technology side, there's more of a reliance on AI for data analysis. So a lot of HR consultants they look at data and they kind of see how they can implement it, but the increased use of AI is going to make it so HR consultants can really focus on how to implement these changes rather than figuring out where it needs to happen or what they need to look for or how they should collect the data, because a lot of that will kind of be done for them automatically with the increased use of technology. The skills, competencies, and qualities required for this field are pretty straightforward, what you'd expect from any consulting industry. You have to have customer service and be people friendly. This is a human facing job. You're kind of selling your own service, and you're also working, upfront with a lot of people because you're trying to sell them on your ideas. And you also have, when you're implementing these changes in an industry that you're not necessarily familiar with, you need to get people to buy in. You also have to be a team player and be able to multitask, because that's just something that comes with the field of consulting. You're not going to be working alone ever, and you have to be comfortable with taking on a lot of responsibilities at once and being able to manage your time efficiently. In terms of tech developments, there's been few changes in the past, and there's not going to be that many major developments in the future that don't affect all industries as a whole. Something that's really happened has been there's been an increase in, internet speed connecting to clients, which has been super useful because you can hop on a Zoom call, you can ensure that you're sending emails and pitches back and forth. And you're also going to have this increased use of software, things like Salesforce, which I think most people are kind of familiar with. In terms of employment outlook, I mentioned that it's been upward trending with a direct correlation to the U.S. labor market, which has been experiencing steady growth over the last 5 years. And as long as employment is increasing, you can expect HR consultant work to be increasing as well. I think there's also going to be a lot of increased external competition, which I think is just going to create more opportunities and especially more leadership opportunities in terms of mid-management and senior management roles once you get past the first analyst and associate levels. For future learning, Deloitte Human Capital puts out a global trends report every year that you can either just read a little bit of and kind of see what's happening, or you can read the whole thing and get a really in-depth look at what they think's affecting HR consultants. Wall Street Journal is great for keeping up with just any business news, which it's important to know in this industry, and also practicing consulting cases. So when you go into an interview, you're really able to, ace the case and be confident in the work you're going to do.